Lifting weights, huh? Lifting weights. Yeah. Where did it all go wrong for Conor McGregor? We look at him now. He has a dick pic that leaked from Azealia Banks. He sent it to Azealia Banks, who, by the way, is not his wife. Is just another woman he's fucking with, man. He has gone off the deep end, and we've been seeing it for the past few years, him going apeshit. And recently, his dick pic leaked, and is just another thing to add to the list of Conor McGregor mishaps, of Conor McGregor bullshit. And it wasn't even just a dick pic, man. This man had a weight tied to his manhood. And the thing that amused me the most of this whole thing with Conor McGregor's dick pic being leaked was Chael Sonnen and his 3-part video series that he made on Conor McGregor and this dick pic. Guys, I can't stop looking at Conor's hammer. I go on X, and the first thing I see is Conor McGregor with his manhood and a weight hanging from his manhood, or something like that. Guys, Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pierre. Okay, now I bring this information. Okay, sorry, I'm just going on some bullshit with this Chael Sonnen impression, but that was amusing to me. This whole thing has been amusing to me, the whole Conor McGregor dick pic thing. And one thing that isn't talked about enough with Conor McGregor's downfall, his fall from grace, from the heights of the sport, is the fact that he is married with 4 children and he is fucking off. He's partying. He's doing cocaine. He's smashing a different woman every weekend, seemingly. That's not a fact, but that's what it seems like. He's sending naked pictures to rappers on X. He's doing all this bullshit, and he has a wife and kids waiting for him at home. And of course you see the memes talking about, hey, Conor McGregor is married and his wife Dee is going to be pissed when she finds this out. But it's not being talked about enough. If Conor and his wife are in an open marriage of some sort, they need to come out and make that public. Because Conor McGregor was accused of rape, went to court for that shit. I believe he did it. Let's just put that out there. I think Conor McGregor's turned into a scumbag. He wasn't always a scumbag. The money and the fame made him a scumbag. He raped this woman. He posts, there's a picture going around of him, this was a while back, of him like dancing with some dwarf, some little person. And then people were saying, oh, Conor smashed this little person. And then he confirms that it happened by posting a picture on Twitter of him and this dwarf saying... And the caption was, Daddy's little McNugget. Proper lay she was. So it's obvious this guy is smashing other women. And it's made public. And then the next day, you see Dee Devlin, Conor's wife, posting a picture of them on a yacht. And the caption is like, oh, I love my daddy. I love my daddy McGregor or whatever. Or I love this man. He's such an amazing man or some shit. Dude, there is no way she is not in constant pain and agony in this marriage. She pumped out 4 kids out of her vagina. So already that's like, yo, you've been through a lot, woman. You pumped out 4 kids and you're taking care of 4 young kids with this fucking husband that's on coke 24/7, making a fool of himself, cheating on you all the time. Yeah, she pumped out 4 kids and then she has to deal with that. This poor damn woman. And is she posting these posts saying, her life with Conor McGregor is all fine and dandy, and her life with these 4 kids is all fine and dandy with an amazing husband. She's leaving comments on his posts right after the dick pic leaked and everything. When I see that, it makes me think either Conor McGregor himself or some kind of PR team are talking to her and telling her to post these things. Make the public forget about what Conor McGregor did. And I don't even give a damn. I hate to rope her into Conor McGregor's bullshit, but it's just something I've been noticing. Like, there's no way she's content with her life at this point, and I feel bad. Conor McGregor's a scumbag. And that leads me to, where did everything go wrong? I want to take a look at Conor McGregor's opponents since joining the UFC, and I want to think back to when he fought that opponent and think back to what his life was like and pinpoint exactly where things started to take a turn for the worst. Conor's first fight in the UFC, Marcus Brimage, TKO in the first round. He came into the UFC with a lot of hype. This was a motivated, dedicated Conor McGregor coming in from, what was it, Cage Warriors? Yeah, Cage Warriors into the UFC. Huge prospect. All the Irish people were on the bandwagon already. And people in the U.S. didn't know about Conor McGregor yet. First fight in the UFC, he was locked in. People, at least heard his name for the first time. He was put on a bit of notice in the U.S. Second fight, Max Holloway, win against Max Holloway, which is, crazy that he has a win over a guy like Max Holloway. And that was a decision win, went all 3 rounds. But it's still a win against Max Holloway. Third fight in the UFC, Diego Brandao. I remember this fight pretty well. TKO in the first round. This is where Conor McGregor really started making noise in the U.S. And of course, after this fight, I'd say all of Ireland was completely behind this guy. And the U.S. was like, whoa, this guy Conor McGregor, when he gets on the mic, he can talk shit, he can get fans excited, and he just knocked this guy out, and he's knocked a bunch of other opponents out in the past. Okay, I like this. And at this point, Conor McGregor was still locked in. I think this is around where Conor McGregor put out that quote where he said, "Partying is weak for the soul," or something like that. So this is a locked-in Conor McGregor. No kids yet at this point, I don't think. But next fight, Dustin Poirier, infamous Dustin Poirier fight, TKO win. Next fight, Dennis Siver, TKO in the second round. Dennis Siver was an old fuck at the time. I think he was kind of on his way out, but still an impressive win. A win that made fans like, oh shit. I think this is around where Conor might have had his first kid, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not going to fact check this shit, but still a locked-in Conor McGregor. Still a faithful Conor McGregor. Still Conor McGregor that realized, you got to be obsessed with the sport. And that's another thing he said on his way up, that he was obsessed with the sport. Now look at his ass. All right. Next fight, Chad Mendes. He won the featherweight, interim featherweight champion, and that was a TKO in the second round. I remember this was Conor's hardest fought win, I'd say even more so than the Max Holloway decision, because Chad Mendes, tested him with some wrestling, and Conor McGregor got through it. Still a locked-in Conor McGregor. He was emotional after this win. He was emotional that he won the interim featherweight championship. And his future looked bright. He was still locked in. He might have had a kid. Dee loved him at this time. Dee loved him. She was like, oh my God, Conor, you're my husband. I love you so much. You're the interim featherweight champion. You're an amazing man. He probably was an amazing man at this point. He wasn't fucked up by everything outside of the sport. Now, next fight. Jose Aldo. Knockout in the first round 13 seconds of the first round. I'd say after this fight is where things probably started to take a turn in Conor's life. He won the UFC featherweight championship. After winning the interim, he unified the championship and beat one of the greatest featherweights ever. Especially at the time, people were looking at Jose Aldo as like, oh my God, this guy is the shit. He's unbeatable. Conor McGregor knocked him out in 13 seconds. Boom. And Conor McGregor called it. That's the thing. He called his shots. Conor McGregor's fame skyrocketed. His wealth skyrocketed. Everybody wanted a piece of the Conor McGregor pie. So, that's probably when, women started, coming up to him. That's probably when he started cheating on his damn wife. Next fight at welterweight, bro. That's actually crazy. The fact that he went from featherweight to welterweight, I forgot about that. That he jumped that much in terms of weight up to the first Nate Diaz fight, and he lost the fight against Nate Diaz by submission. Oh man, he was probably depressed as shit after that. But the thing is, that loss probably did motivate him a little bit. Maybe made him say, "Hey, I don't need all this bullshit and partying and shit." Maybe this is where, he took a step back and realized, hey, I'm letting shit get a little too out of hand. He got that fight back with Nate Diaz, and he won the next fight. And I think he, deserved that win. I remember watching the fight. It was a close fight, but Conor McGregor did, edge it out, and he deserved it. That was a good fight, and I was surprised by Conor. The fact that it went all 5 rounds, and he was able to push it all the way to the end. It looked like he was back on it, maybe. Won the lightweight championship against Eddie Alvarez, TKO in the second round. Good fucking win. This is, okay, Conor McGregor at this point, biggest fucking name ever seen in the sport. He's bigger than the sport at this point. And then he fights Khabib, of course. The Khabib fight. Biggest fight in UFC history. He won a round against Khabib. Nobody else has managed to do that except Conor. Hard fought fight, 4th round submission by Khabib. I was impressed by Conor. Obviously, before this fight, the whole dolly through the bus thing, they hated each other. This was one of those fights in the UFC where the two people fighting actually hated each other to a damn holy shit. It was like, this is damn nuts. This is damn nuts how much they hate each other. And the Khabib Nurmagomedov loss might have been the final nail in the damn coffin of Conor McGregor. He was probably depressed as shit. He was surrounded by money and people wanting his damn autograph, people wanting to smash him and then, just use him and shit. Man, this guy was on top of the world, but also down in the dumps. 2 years later, he came back with that Donald Cerrone fight and finished Donald Cerrone in the first round, and he utilized those shoulder strikes. This is actually funny. I remember watching it, and I was like, holy shit, Conor McGregor is one of the greatest of all time. Conor McGregor might be the greatest fighter of all time. And now looking back on that, that's the dumbest shit I ever could have thought. And then he came back and decided to give Dustin Poirier a rematch, which was honestly bold on his part. I was surprised he did that. The old Conor McGregor wasn't there. He lost against Dustin Poirier, TKO. Dustin Poirier pieced him up. Dustin Poirier knocked him out. It was pretty embarrassing for Conor McGregor. And this was, Conor McGregor came into this fight acting all nice and shit, putting on an acting performance. Dude, that's wild. That's wild to think back to that. How nice he acted leading it up to this fight. And that was a mental tactic I think he thought would work. You know, be nice to your opponent, and then they're going to not want to punch you in the face. Maybe. That's what I was thinking he was doing. Like, be nice, and they're going to be more hesitant to punch you in the face. I really do think that's what he was trying to do. And it didn't work out. The third Dustin Poirier fight, Conor's last fight in the UFC, July 2021. TKO, first round, doctor stoppage, which is what Conor McGregor was calling for after he broke his damn leg in the octagon. And after this, I feel bad for him. After this, Conor was probably so depressed, so down in the dumps, surrounded by money, though, surrounded by whores wanting to smash him. Everywhere he turned, someone said, "Hey, Conor, you want to come to my room and fucking maybe smash, and maybe I can, maybe borrow $1 million, maybe, or, maybe you can give me a ride on your yacht. I'll smash you if you let me ride on your yacht and give me $1 million." Anyway, I'm getting carried away here, but everybody was surrounding him. Everybody wanted his money. He was depressed as shit, and now we see where he is. He's a co-owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. He's cheating on his wife. He's always gone from his family. He's partying, which I thought he said was weak for the soul. He's doing cocaine. He's smashing dwarves. He's sending dick pics to rappers online. Chael Sonnen is making videos on Conor's dick pic. And he's just a mess now. He is just a mess. And who knows if he's ever going to come back. Dude, his mind is just gone. It's gone. The Conor McGregor is not there anymore. This what you're seeing now out here isn't Conor McGregor. He's like the Bizarro Conor McGregor. This isn't him, bro. This is someone else. All the hardship, got to him. And can we really blame Conor McGregor? Can we blame Conor McGregor for spiraling out of control? Yes, we can. And I think it's fair to blame him because no matter what you have going on, just control yourself. Stick to your morals. Stick to your values. But also, I can see how it's hard to not spiral out of control with the life Conor was kind of thrust into. What do you guys think of Conor McGregor? I mean, was spiraling out of control inevitable for him, or was it really avoidable? And was it really just all his fault that he let things get to this point and he let himself cheat on his wife and fuck off and rape a woman and do cocaine constantly? Was that all his fault? Guys, I need to talk about this video I saw Nina Drama posted. And I've talked about Nina Drama in the past and how I think she's actually a good content creator. And she makes some good interviews with UFC fighters, and she's good for the UFC. But there is a video she posted of her with the Fighting Nerds, and it is the strangest video I've ever seen. It's so strange that I need to talk about it on this podcast. I couldn't believe this shit, bro. So, okay, I'm going to play it next to me here. So she wanted to recreate this video of this kid that was standing at the front of a boat that like a canoe, a kayak, whatever the fuck this is called. The racing boats. a video of this kid standing at the front of one of these racing boats, and he's like dancing while these guys behind him are rowing. I didn't see that video. I've never seen that video before. I don't think it was even a viral video, really. I don't think a lot of people knew about this video. But Nina Drama decided she wanted to recreate this video. She was going to be the kid dancing at the front of the racing boat. And then she was going to have the fighting nerds line up behind her like they were in a boat. But they weren't in a boat. It would have been one thing if they were in a boat and they recreated this TikTok. But they were in an octagon. So it was Nina Drama doing some little weird dance moves, fucking pointing with fucking shit. She was like fucking doing bullshit. And then John Silva was behind her, barking right into her fucking ass, right at her ass. Like, I don't know if that was a conscious decision to like say, hey, it would be funny if John Silva's right behind me and he's barking at my ass like he wants my ass. Or if she just said, hey, John Silva, do your barking thing. I'm gonna have you line up right behind me. And she didn't even like think like, oh, it's like you're barking because you want my ass or some shit. I really hope. Okay, anyway, and then the other fighting nerds were lined up behind John Silva. Kaio was in there. Fucking Carlos Prates was in there smoking. And they were all doing their thing. But it was like, you're not in a boat. You're in an octagon. You're doing this weird thing that no one knows. And the first time she posted it, she didn't even show the original video she got the idea from. So it was like, what? You're standing in an octagon with the fighting nerds sitting behind you, and you're doing this weird dance? What is this? What the fuck is this shit? I was like, what the? How did you get this damn idea? Where did you pull this idea out of? Where'd you pull this idea from, bro? This is the strangest shit I've ever fucking seen. And everybody in the comments were confused too. Everybody was saying, what the fuck is it? What does this mean? This is weird. LOL, fucking John Silva's barking at her ass. LOL, we know what John Silva wants. LOL, I feel bad for Nina's husband. Everybody was confused. So Nina, I noticed, posted it again, reposted it, but she made sure to edit in, clips of that kid dancing in front of the racing boat, so people knew what the reference was from. So then I was like, oh, okay, now I get the reference, but still, what the fuck? How did you come up with this idea? There are thousands of trends that she could have remade that are on TikTok. But she chose to take this video of this kid dancing in front of a racing boat with people rowing behind him and remake that with the fighting nerd. Like, what? I'll give you this. Like, that's an outside of the box thing to do. Outside of the box thought in terms of making content. But wow, dude, it was just like so weird to me. And if her goal was to confuse people and make them say, this is weird, this is maybe some people thought it was dumb, this is like really strange. If that was her goal, she fucking did it. She succeeded in making people confused. But if her goal was to have people recognize what video this is a reference to, and people say, oh, that's a funny recreation of that one TikTok video. If that was the goal, failure. I just had to talk about that because that was the strangest shit I've seen in a while. Strangest shit. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, really. But, I love you, Nina. Nina Drama, I love you. Guys, one thing I was thinking of recently was how shitty it must feel for fighters to listen back to commentary on their fights. I mean, most fighters watch back their fights after they fight. And just imagine, let's put it in a situation where we can all relate here, okay? Imagine you go to the gym and let's say someone's watching you behind a damn mirror. It's one of those mirrors you can see in from one way, but you can't see out. They're watching you behind a mirror, and they're commentating on your workout, and it's all being recorded, and they're watching you. And after you're done with with your workout, the guys that were watching you and commentating on your workout and your form and everything, they give you a little videotape, a VHS tape. Yeah, a VHS tape in 2025. And it says, whatever your name is, Vanessa's workout tape. You put it in the VHS player, and you just see yourself working out, and you hear, "Oh God, look at Vanessa. Oh, she's looking sloppy today. Oh, look at her on the fucking treadmill. She's gassing out a little too quick. Vanessa's gassing out a little too quick. Oh man, this is not a good day from Vanessa. She's not looking like herself today. Oh, this is not a good day for her. Oh man, she's making too many mistakes out here. She's got to lock in. This must have been a horrible camp. Oh God, okay. So imagine being a fighter, and you're putting your all into training for this one moment. And then you watch back the fight, and you're just hearing all this bullshit. Now, of course, when you're the fighter that's winning on the scorecards, and you're the fighter that's doing well in the fight, that's going to be different hearing the commentary. But if you're just having an off night, just imagine how bad that must feel to hear the commentary. Oh, this guy looks like he's shit. Oh, this guy looks like he's about to fucking die. And the worst thing to hear is, oh, this guy is so tough. Imagine being a fighter and you're listening to the commentary team and they say, this guy is so damn tough. This guy is the toughest motherfucker I've ever seen. That just means you're getting the shit beat out of you and you don't want to fall. That's what that means. Imagine hearing that, bro. That's why I think fighters have some of the strongest mentalities of any human beings, of all human beings on earth. I mean, they have to go through so much shit. They have to put themselves at risk of getting embarrassed in front of millions of people. Think back to Tony Ferguson and Michael Chandler. Not only does Tony Ferguson have to listen to the commentary team talking shit on him, talking shit on how old he is, how he fell off, but then he gets knocked out in the most devastating way against Michael Chandler that we've ever seen. And then he has to just carry on with his life, pick himself back up from that and carry on. None of you can do that. None of you would make it through that. Any of you, if you went through that, you would watch the fight back, hear the commentary team, and then you would off yourself. Yeah. But Tony Ferguson, he listened to the commentary team, he watched himself get knocked out, and he said, yep, all right. Who am I going to lose my 7th fight to? Who's next? Who am I going to lose my 8th fight to, huh? I'm sorry, that was a joke. That was a little mean, but hey, man, I love Tony Ferguson. I hope to see him get back on track in this boxing match against Salt Pop. Yeah, if he loses, I might off myself, bro. Anyway, yeah, fighters' mentality are some of the strongest ever in the world. All right, guys, let's read some comments from the last video. Last video, I was speaking on how Raul Rosas Jr. actually has the strongest mentality, bulletproof mentality, the strongest mentality in the UFC because of all the shit he gets online. And he's a young kid, and he doesn't even give any attention to it. He pushes forward and just focuses on getting better and winning that title. I think he has a strong case for having the strongest mentality in the UFC. So let's read some of these comments. Jason Eret 5149 says, this dude was just talking about retiring. Am I crazy? I don't think Raul Rosas Jr. was talking about retiring. If he was, that's really damn funny because he's the youngest fighter in the UFC still. He's 20? Yeah, he's 20 right now. If he was talking about retiring, that's just funny to me. And obviously, it's a joke. Baconator Gammon 123. I only disagree with the UFC being in a good place at the moment. If it were, we would have seen Tom versus Jones by now, and fighters wouldn't have to be promoting themselves. It's a sport, not a reality TV show. You basically have to suck up to Dana if you want to have a good career in the UFC at this point. The UFC, like I said in the last episode, is in a good place still. I believe it is. It's just a lack of star power, which is going to come back, especially with the surge of Ilia Topuria. He's taking the reins here. And, there's a lot of stars that are going to be following up behind him, including Paddy. Paddy's going to be huge. We might see the biggest pool of huge stars in the UFC in the next 2 years. So the UFC is just in a down time right now, but it's going to come back big. We would have seen Tom versus John by now. John Jones is just a bitch. That has nothing to do with the UFC, in my opinion. Dana tried to get the fight to happen. Dana did everything he could to get the fight to happen. John was ready to fight, and then he just retired. That's all John's fault, not the UFC. John Jones' fault. He's a bitch. I damn near don't want to call him the GOAT anymore, bro. He is the greatest, but I damn near want to just take that title away from him just because of all the bitch moves he's made and all the bullshit he's done outside of the octagon. It's a sport, not a reality TV show. It's turned into both, kind of, which is somewhat sad, but to be honest, I like it. I mean, it is kind of a mix between just pure MMA competition and the WWE in terms of entertainment. And, we can thank Chael Sonnen for that. It makes it so much more entertaining. It does take away from the pureness and the respect of the sport, but man, it's just so entertaining. And that's why that's one of the reasons I love it. I mean, the press conferences, the shit talk. Man, it sucks kind of, but it's a sport, and it's kind of like a reality TV show, but it's not a bad thing, I don't think. Honestly, it's not the worst thing. You basically have to suck up to Dana White if you want a good career. Yeah, that's kind of true, actually. If you see all the fighters that suck up to Dana White, they get a lot of good opportunities. It's a little corrupt at this point, I'll be honest, but what are you going to do? You can only hope that things get better, I guess. I don't know. AZ Lankhan 003. Is that Beaker from the Muppets talking about Raul Rosas Jr.? Yeah, that's Beaker from the Muppets, bro. Let's do a side-by-side with Raul Rosas Jr. and Beaker real quick right here. Big Sean 23345. Only a face a mother could love. Boy got beat with an ugly stick. See, like I said, I think Raul Rosas Jr. is actually a handsome young man. And I don't understand people calling him ugly all the time. I really don't. I don't understand this, man. I mean, he does look like Beaker from the Muppets, but he's not ugly. He's handsome. He's a handsome, promising, intelligent young man. Leave this kid alone. JB Games 2 says, this got to be a joke, right? A joke that I think Raul Rosas Jr. is a handsome young man, a promising young man, an intelligent young man, and he has a bulletproof mentality, and his future in the UFC is bright. You think that's a joke? No. I am 100% serious about all of the things I said about Raul Rosas Jr., and I will stand by them. Charpel says no more small MMA channels. I think this guy's saying he can't handle any more small MMA channels like mine. My one question is why? We're the fastest growing MMA podcast on YouTube now. Paz Peas says, what the fuck? All right, guys. Thanks for watching this episode of Cap MMA. We are trying to be the biggest comedic MMA podcast on YouTube. Oi. Leave a comment below and I'll read it in the next episode. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys made it this far, let me know who you think should be 2025 Fighter of the Year at this point in time. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe and ding that notification bell. I'll see you in the next one.